Hi, welcome to I Love the Library. I'm Mary Haney, Director of the Detroit Lakes Public Library, and we are standing in the original library, which was built 100 years ago. We are celebrating the centennial of the library this fall, and will continue on through 2014. The library opened to the public on November 14th of 1913. On the evening of November 13th, 1913, they had a big party to celebrate the fact that the town of Detroit finally had a public library in its own building that they could all celebrate. So this year in November, we will be celebrating the centennial of the library. On the evening of November 13th, we will start with a visit from New York Times best-selling author William Kent Kruger. Kent is a Minnesota author. He writes the Cork O'Connor mystery series. Many people read William Kent Kruger's books, and he's very popular in the library, in many libraries in the area. So he'll be coming to speak at 7 p.m. on the evening of November 13th. We'll have a big gala celebration that evening. Kent will be speaking. We'll have a proclamation from the mayor. We may even have a proclamation from the governor of Minnesota. We have invited Minnesota's two United States senators to come. We haven't had a response from them in the affirmative yet. I think it probably depends on what's happening on the national scene at that point in time. But it's going to be a great big party. We're even going to have a large cake in the shape of the library. So you should all come 7 p.m. on November 13th to help us celebrate the library's birthday. Then on the 14th of November, we will be coming up the old front door of the building, which hasn't been in use for 25 years, and you can see it here on the picture. This is a beautiful drawing by Linda Dobert, by the way. Thanks, Linda, for such beautiful art of all our great buildings in Detroit Lakes. But we'll be opening the front door for people to come in and have little tours of the library and celebrate the fact that it's now been open to the public for 100 years. So that should be we'll have a ribbon cutting and all kinds of special fun on November 14th too. So you won't want to miss that. You also may notice around town that we have some posters up on what are you reading. We want people to tell us what you're reading and write on those boards and tell us what you're reading. We're going to turn them into some fun bookmarks that we'll be giving away. We will also have some special commemorative tote bags for sale with the library's Centennial logo on them. So that'll be fun to have and to remember what you're doing. But this great building is 100 years old. It took quite a struggle to get it into being. It started in 1907 with a library club, a group of women that decided Detroit needed a library. And they decided in 1910 to apply for a grant from Andrew Carnegie. At this point, Andrew Carnegie had not yet started the Carnegie Foundation, but he was giving away money so communities could build libraries. And it was strictly a construction grant. Carnegie did not furnish libraries, nor did he stock them with books or materials. It was strictly for construction. And a community had to promise taxpayer support through either a mill rate or an annual allotment to support the library. The city of Detroit had to at least agree to supply $1,000 a year to support the library. It took kind of a fight, but they eventually got the city council to agree to support the library with $1,000 a year. So they decided to start looking for bids, and in May of 1913 they laid the cornerstone, which you can now see on the outside of the building. Now that we're doing some different landscaping, you can see the 1913 cornerstone of the building. They called for bids. The low bid was August Randolph of Detroit at $9,840. And at that price, they weren't sure they could even finish the basement of the building. But evidently they did, because as soon as the building opened, the basement was in great demand for meetings. We still have meetings downstairs in that library basement room 100 years later. So if you enjoy the history of the library, come and celebrate with us our fabulous centennial in November 2013. Is that the year? Okay. Thanks for joining me today on I Love the Library.